Hello, lovers. I'm going to dive right into it. There is a storm a-brewing. There is a storm a-brewing down here in these here parts. Okay? Okay, there's a storm a-coming. Now, I'm not talking about a snowstorm either. I'm talking about a good old-fashioned YouTube bottom feeder, crazy town storm of the century is coming. And it's been brewing behind the curtains for some time. And timing is everything. I have stepped back. I've been trying to focus publicly on other things in regards to my channel. As true story, after my being pretty much the main course of everyone's entertainment last year, drama, it was really enough. You know, it's repetitive. I'm only human. I cannot take all that over and over and over again. So, I have never made my channels all about drama. You can go through any one of my channels and you're always going to find a plethora of choices if you care to look. But I know a lot of you are only here for the drama, so, and that's okay. We all have something to offer, and mine's a little bit of a mixture, but I do feel compelled to speak on this subject because I've got a couple friends involved in this potential storm here. One of them is a very good friend of mine, who I've known for some time now, and it's been so good to me, and that's Lisa Carley. I know many of you know of her. Some of you may not know of her, but let me tell you, she is a lovely gal. Both her and her husband. Good people. Salt to the earth kind of people. And then the other one, listen, she is my friend as well. Now, we may not be as close as, say, Carly and I, but nonetheless, it's not a competition of who's closer, who's known each other longer. When you're in the friend category, you're in the friend category. And the reason I'm really doing this video is, there's a couple reasons. First of all, I want to go ahead and kind of set the tone. I want to give at least a foundation for you all to base the storm upon when it starts hitting the news cycle, so to speak. Because I know full well there's going to be some self-proclaimed kings and queens of the land trying to put their own spin on things, utilizing these two people's grief for their own agenda and to perpetuate their own nonsensical agendas and all that. Listen. There's no agenda here other than to hope that we can get these two gals to come together, make a horrific wrong into a right, correct it in some way, maybe salvage what's left of a friendship. Which I think is very possible. I think is possible. But you know, even if the friendship isn't going to be ever what it was once before, it does not change the fact that a wrong must be corrected. Okay? So this is about money. This is about a person who, from my experience, would, if you asked her to, literally give the shirt off her back, and probably her husband's too, to make your world just a little bit better, if it's possible. And that is Lisa Carley. You know, I don't feel comfortable at this, because I haven't had a chance to actually converse and speak one-on-one with my other friend. And so I don't really feel comfortable putting her name out here. But I know, listen, some of you are ahead of the curve, some of you will know anyway, some of you will figure it out, and really it doesn't even matter. Truly, it doesn't matter, say, the names. What matters is the deed. What matters is what's going down. A significant amount of money was loaned to an individual. A significant amount of money was given to the same individual, admittedly by Lisa. But there was a very large portion that was clearly a loan, which both people have acknowledged and agreed to, and this and that. Before I go any further, I will just say flat out that anybody who knows me knows I don't pull things from the air. I don't talk fiction. I'm not about that. If I'm going to come out and I'm going to speak about anything, you can bet that I have seen the documentation. I'm in possession of correspondences from both parties. In fact, 3 parties. Because Lisa's husband is also now involved. Here's the thing. I just know how this is going to go. Okay? Let's just pause the situation for a moment. And I want to jump back over to how things can get taken too far on YouTube. The harassment, the relentless doxings, the relentless threats, it just can get so ugly. Things can get so ugly on YouTube. Now, I'm not one of those people that do ugly things. Okay? I am but a mere messenger at this point. I don't have a track record of doing ugly things to people, or cruel things, or just being flat out nasty. That's not my reputation by any means. But you all know what I'm speaking on. You all know something like this is going to typically have a tribal mentality to it. Only in this case, I'm not so sure that it would be a close to a 50-50 split, given the parties involved. I just think it's going to be very ugly if this continues. So, speaking to my friends out there, I'm hoping that you all can pull it together. Speaking to my friend who is taken on a loan that she appears not to be willing to pay back at this time, which is hard to understand, and it's hard to accept that by all accounts. It's hard to accept that she doesn't have the means. And in fact, Lisa and her husband, they're not accepting that at all. The documentation seems to be in place that, this person has the means to repay this loan. And I'm not going to give the exact figure, but I will tell you this. It's under $20,000, but it's over $12,000. So it's in that range. We're not talking about $400 here, $500, $1,000. We're not talking about your typical YouTube drama money. This is real money. Loaned in good faith to an individual who at the time really needed it. And when I say need, it was a situation where not having access to the amount of money loaned to her would have been catastrophic. Literally a life-changing moment. And she's very fortunate to have received that money. Having said that, she is now in the position to repay this money. Here's my thing, and I'm going to say this, now I'm going to speak general. When you owe someone money, okay, I know most of you are not just going to owe the kind of money that we're talking about. This is when it comes to a personal loan, we understand that this amount of money is on the side of abnormal. Okay, I get it. But regardless of the amount, when you owe someone money, you cannot then sit there and look for excuses to be angry with them, upset with them about other things. Therefore, you are no longer obligated to the loan within a timely fashion, a reasonable fashion of payback. You cannot then say, listen, you have a good life, and if you don't talk about me publicly, I won't talk about you publicly. Well, how kind, right? How benevolent. It's always, why does it always have to be the person in debt who's turning their back and snubbing the loan altogether, that says, listen, I just want peace. I just want peace, love, and happiness. You go on about your life and I'll go on about mine. Well, how convenient when you're walking around with someone else's cash in your pocket. It's not the way to do business. It's not the way to treat friends. So even if you feel, for whatever reason, you can't part with the full amount, you just can't let it escape your fingertips. You can't turn around and sell a few things or whatever you have to do. Which in this case, you should be able to just go to your damn bank account and withdraw some money. But hey, going on the guys that, listen, you don't have the money. People, offer something, right? If you owe people money, how about half? I can give you half now. I really appreciate the loan. I don't want you to think for 1 second that I took that loan for granted. I really, really appreciate that loan. Now, giving you half is going to cut me a little short for a little bit. I'm going to be a little short on my end, but I'll work through it. I'll get through it. But I want to show you that this is a good faith offer. Let me give you half, and then let me give you so much every month or every couple of months as I can, until I can pay this loan in full. Whatever, something. You've got to work out something. You can't sit there and say, well, I'll give you a little bit of money whenever I'm available, whenever I have a little extra somehow. I will give you 3 chickens, 2 goats, a lamb chop, and one of those big giant Hershey candy bars. I'm going to give you some stuff. Here's the problem. Here's the problem about bartering off your debt, right? Lisa's not going to be able to pay any bills with Hershey bars, chickens, and goats, or things, right? You can't just give people things in place of the debt unless that is exactly what's agreed upon. And if it is, it needs to be done. It needs to be done. Now, I know in this particular case, after looking at all of the documentation, all of the correspondences back and forth between these people, including the husband, mind you, who is a professional. He's a professional in his community, and trust me, this is not the kind of man that's going to get in on this crazy drama, but this is the kind of man that's going to step in and work side by side alongside his wife to retrieve that money, and get that back in their household where it belongs. Now, I know that Lisa and her husband, they are more than established individuals. They have attorneys on retainer, for goodness sake, given what the husband does for work. So here's the thing. This is no YouTube, I'm going to get me a YouTube lawyer, all this stuff. That's what's brewing right now out there in the real world, in the real part of this story. You know, so I look at Lisa and I say, Lisa, I'm hoping that you can hold off on that part just for a moment before y'all wind up on a Judge Judy episode. Okay, as entertaining as that would be, my God, that would be so entertaining, and I would be there. I would be there, honey, to see it all. But before Judge Judy has to get involved, I'd like to see this person very much reach out in a sincere way, preferably by phone call. Give Lisa a call. Work this out. You know, something. Just work this out before this thing blows up all over YouTube like we know it's going to. Now, in all fairness, okay, the friend here in question, she's had a rough go of things. Things have not exactly gone her way. But you know what? It could have been a whole lot worse, given some of the situations and some of the decisions. But she found the light at the end of her tunnel. You know, she pulled a Gloria Estefan, honey. She came out of the dark, coming up out of the dark. Literally, she come up out the dark. So, it's time. It's time to step up and do the right thing. Period. Just do the right thing. And anybody out there who, when the shit starts hitting the fan, just know, this don't have nothing to do with all these other crazy people out there that are going to be jumping on and having their opinions. Look, here's the deal. Okay? This is your litmus test. If people are not directly involved, A, close friends with either or have not seen the documentation, do not have that in their possession to go over for personal notes or to submit forth if need be. Now, what kind of makes this even all the more unbearable, you know, when you're talking to friends and they're venting out and they're reaching out for just an ear to listen, maybe some advice, just something. That's a struggle in its own right. But then, you know, add to it that, you know, this poor lady has really been through it herself. You know, she's literally, as we speak, still reeling with grief, you know, from the passing of a family member. But still, even all through that, she was still able to attempt to help someone else, and still willing to work with someone else, and things that she just never really had to do. Do you know, honestly, this gal could have just said nothing. Listen, I don't have my money back. I don't see any attempt of this person giving me my money back. I'm just going to go ahead and nail her in the courtroom and be done with it. She could have done that. Who the hell wants to go through that? No one. No one wants to have to take someone to court, and no one definitely wants to be sued. No one wants to be the respondent in a courtroom. Let's be real. So, on that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close it. So now you all kind of know if it's been a little quiet on the surface, if it's been a little too cool, calm, and collective, just know it's the calm before the storm. And let us just hope that things can be worked out amicably between the two, between the three. Again, let the Lisa's husband return to what he does best, and that's his profession. So let him do him. Let him get back to business. Let us remind Lisa to stop loaning out people significant amounts of cash over the YouTube. Now, obviously, within this story, I gave you the clean version. I gave you the bottom line, because really that's what I'm in the business of doing, dropping the bottom line. I'm not really in the business of all the plot twists and the he saids and she saids and he did and she did and I didn't do this and I didn't say that, but she said that. That's not my business. That's not what I do. That's not my specialty. We'll have to leave that to your Boyd Kings and your Boyd Queens. We'll let them handle all the static and nonsense. I'm just here to drop the baseline. And on that note, I hope you all have a lovely day, a lovely evening, whatever time of day it may be for you. Enjoy the rest of January. Enjoy it. And I will talk to you all soon. Don't forget to check out my political bloodshed channel. Do not forget to check out some of my fabulous videos on my main channel, Mallery Williams. And if you're smart, you will also check out Mallery Williams on Holiday. Okay? That's my third channel. And that's where I'm going to be doing some more live streams from. So that's where you need to be subbing up. Subbing up for the good stuff. And there you have it. Till next time, loves, hugs, kisses. Bye-bye.